So let's now continue on. We've got 3 methods we need to create: update contact, remove contact, and query contact, so we can finish off our challenge. So the first one, update. We're going to do a private void, private static void, update contact. So first things first, we need to get the name we want to search for, enter existing contact name, like so. And we're going to put string name equals scanner dot next line, like so. So we're going to retrieve the one we want. Now, the next point, what we could do is we want to use something like the mobile phone dot query. And in this case, you can see that we've got an option for a query contact that accepts a contact. But in this case, what we want to also do, we want to implement another version of the query contact, and we want to pass just the name and to return the record, the entire record, the contact record for that name. And the reason for that will become apparent. So what we want to do is go back to mobile phone, and looking at our query, we want to do something similar. We want to do a public contact, query contact, string name, like so. So we want to have a look for any record that matches the name and actually then return the contact record for that, because we're going to need that in the next line. And we can actually use the internal method we created, the find contacts, to do so. So we can do something like int position equals find contact and pass the name to that. And then we can put if position is greater than or equal to 0. It means we've found an entry. Then what we want to do at that point is return this.mycontacts.get that position. So we want to return the contact class or object, I should say, that's in that position in the array list. And failing that, if we weren't able to find it, we're going to return null. So that's our method. So again, we're just getting the position number based on the name to see whether it exists. If it does exist in the array list, we're going to return the entry from the array list, which is that contact record. Otherwise, we're going to return null. So going back to our main class again. So what we can now do is use the query. We can put .query, and we can use the string one, like name. And we can do contact, existing contact record, like so. And then we can do we can put if existing contact records equals to null, we can say contact not found. And then we can just return, because there's no return type. So basically, if we don't find the entry, we can't update it, so we're going to return null. But the good thing about that is, now that we've done that, is what we can now easily proceed, because what we can do now is we can actually send that contact record ultimately when we're going to update the record. But the first thing we need to do is, because we're replacing the existing contact name with a new one, we need to actually accept that as input. So we're going to actually do print enter new contact name, like so, and string new name equals scanner dot next line. So we want to accept the new contact name we're going to assign, and this could be in the case where someone perhaps got married and their name changed. And likewise, mobile phone number may be the same, but may not be. Enter new contact phone number, like so, and string number or new number equals scanner.next line, like so. So we've got the new number and the new name. So we're going to create a new record for that. So contact, you've seen this before, contact new contact equals, we're going to use the contact static method and pass the new name and the new number, like so. So we've now got the two entries. We've got the existing record as a contact object and also the new contact as an object. So we can just call our update contact now by doing mobile phone dot update contact, and we pass the old one first. Whoops. Old, so existing, wasn't it? Existing contact record and new contact. And then what we really could do is we could actually put if, surround that in an if. So because that's returning a true or false, we can put Successfully updated record. Otherwise we can run else. Error updating record. Now, we shouldn't actually get an error with the update because we've already done a test beforehand to see whether it existed. But in a multi-user type world, for example, the record could have been deleted since the time that we retrieved, determined whether it was on file or not. So it would be good to actually still test for that anyway. In this case, we've now implemented the update contact. So thinking about it, the remove contact is actually going to be very similar. We want to do the same thing. We want to just check to see whether it exists. If it does exist, then try to delete it. So I'm going to copy some of this. I'm going to copy this part and paste that like so, but we're going to call it remove contact. And we're going to add another bracket there. So at this point, the code prior to that, we're actually testing to see whether it actually exists or not. So we've got to here, we know that it does exist. So we've got the existing record. So all we really need to do is just call the method. So we can put mobile phone dot remove, and it's asking for the parameter, which of course is the existing contact record. And again, we could wrap that in an if to put if successfully deleted, or else error deleting record. Contact to be more precise. So that's our remove contact. And the last thing we want to do now is just do a query. And the query contact code is pretty similar. So we could do something similar. I'm just going to copy that code. And that'll be query contact. Query contact, enter existing name. So contact not found. We wouldn't really need to do it because we've already queried it once. We could actually just print out a message to put words to the effect of name plus existing contact record dot get name phone number. Oops. Phone number is existing record dot get phone number, and that will sort of confirm that we're able to actually retrieve their number, because obviously we only asked for their name, and then from the name we're able to determine obviously the phone number, because the information that was returned to us also returned that in a string. So I think that's all our functions now. So I think we're ready now to actually try running this code and seeing whether, shock horror, it actually works. So let's try that now. Okay, so there's our functions. So let's make a start on this. So firstly, print contacts. There shouldn't be any, which is correct. So let's add a contact. Contact, we'll say it's Tim. Phone number 12345, pretty original phone number there. New contact added, name equals Tim, phone equals 12345. And if we print the contacts, we've now got a contact list with me on there, just one record. Let's add another one. Bob 23890, and just print that list out again. That seems to be working okay. Add one more, shall we? Okay, and print the list out again. It's definitely working. And option 6, so that we can see our list of options again. All right, so let's go ahead and do a query. So we'll do option 5. We'll try the queries out. So let's try one that we know is on file, Tim. Name, Tim, phone number equals 12345. So that's good that it found the number. And we'll just do one more. So number 5 for Bob, 23890, which is correct for Bob. We can see that on the screen there. Let's do one that's not on file. Roy, contact not found, which is correct. That's good. So let's do an update. So do an update. Firstly, we'll enter something that doesn't exist. Derek, contact not found, which is good. And we'll try option 3 again. This time we'll try Tim. This time it's actually come up and said what's the new name, so it's found it. So we'll put Tom, and we'll put 8900000. Tim was replaced with Tom, successfully updated. And the list of options again, and we'll just print the contacts out. You can see option or element 1 has been updated to Tom, 8900000, and remove is the only other thing we need to check. So let's do that. Let's try and remove, say, Bob. Bob was deleted, but let's confirm that was the case. Tom and Mike remain. So yes, it has been deleted. So I think that's all the functions, and it seems to be working nicely. So that's my solution. I hope you've got a lot out of this, and that your solution was perhaps similar. I know that I changed a couple of things that I didn't talk about specifically, but if you've done something very similar and you've got the results that were similar to this, you've actually done very well. No matter what, hopefully you've got a lot out of this, and important just to start thinking about when you're implementing some of this code. So I'll just close this down. It's just to decide where that code was. I think it was important when we talked about, getting back to the mobile phone, when we talked about the print contacts, whether that code effectively could have been in the mobile phone or whether it should have been there or in here. I think we made the right decision to actually put that code in the mobile phone because it was in the mobile phone class, because it was related to the mobile phone. So that's it. We're finally done with ArrayLists. I know there was a lot of videos that we did for that, but it was very important to cover a lot of that because we're going to be going into different types of lists. And we're going to assume at this point when we move forward that you'll understand the basics of lists, and then we'll just be talking about the specifics and the different types of lists that are in Java. So I'll see you in that next video.